샴페인 서울의 주역들이 샴페인에 도착했습니다. 지금부터 일정을 시작하겠습니다. 오랜만에 돌아온 샴페인 서울 프랑스 투어 영상입니다. 오늘 방문한 와이너리는 샴페인 남쪽에 위치한 꼬트드 바의 가장 핫한 생산자인 루이스 브리종입니다. 이날 와인 메이커인 델핀 브룰레가 아주 반갑게 맞이해 주었는데요. 오늘 특별한 이벤트가 있어서 아주 기분이 좋다고 하는데 여러분도 함께 들어보시죠.
Best day ever! For the weather first, and second because we are opening some holes in the soil. And it's going to be very good for you for the picture and so on, but also to understand what is really the terroir in la Côte des Bar.
Okay.
So it's the first time ever we do that on the estate, so it's really something special today.
델핀이 운전하는 차를 따라서 5분 정도 거리에 위치한 루이스 브리종의 샴페인이 만들어지는 포도밭에 이동하고 있습니다. 그런데 멀쩡한 포도밭에 왜 구멍을 뚫는 것일까요? 델핀의 설명을 함께 들어보시죠.
Walter is also, so as I explained, is taking some samples to reconstruct and do, it's not a painting, it's a, how do you call it in English?
Well, it's a prepared soil profile, and I take one block, so as it is, back home and prepare it. Then you can hang it up on the wall
Yeah.
and can show the visitors, and of course for yourself, how your vineyard soil looks like and what it's composed of.
So you can see it's really dark on the surface. That's because you have lots of things to eat for the vines. And then it's more clear the deeper you go. You can also watch the roots. The majority of the roots is 30 centimeters deep, 35 maximum. And then there is the clay that is really compact, and it's difficult for the roots to go deeper, but not impossible. That's the magic of clay. During winter, you have lots of water, so the clay goes like that. But during summer, it's drier, so the clay goes like that. And when it goes like that, the roots can go and fetch water. So I think it's a very good soil to make viticulture.
델핀은 이날 꽤 오랜 시간 동안 때루와에 포함된 미네랄, 토양 등에 대해서 설명해 주었는데요. 포도밭을 자세하게 이해하기 위해서 토양을 분석하고 때루와에 대해서 이해도를 높이려고 노력하는 것을 보면 왜 델핀이 오너 자리를 물려받은 뒤에 루이스 브리종이 꼬트드 바의 떠오르는 생산자가 되었는지 이해가 갑니다. 포도밭에서 돌아와 루이스 브리종의 와인 셀러로 이동하였습니다. 루이스 브리종의 셀러에는 다양한 달 사진이 이렇게 전시가 되어 있었는데요. 이게 어떤 의미인지 델핀에게 직접 질문해 보았습니다.
What does the picture mean?
Oh, that's the cycle of the moon. Because we work a lot with the moon cycle, especially to, when we cut the leaves, we try to cut them when we are on the down moon, because there is an effect on the sap. It's easier for the vines to carry this cutting its leaves by doing it on the down moon than on the rise moon or the rising moon. And it's really, really important to look at the moon. It's not something that is precise, but it's something that we can notice year after year. For the racking of the barrel also, down moon, because there is less movement inside the barrels. We don't see it like that, but there is always a bit of movement due to the moon cycle. So we try to do it when there is the least movement possible. So I found it really important to put this picture here because it's completely linked to the job that we do. Well, I mean, if it's a rainy day and it's not the right moon cycle, we don't go. But if it's a rainy day and it's the right moon cycle, we don't go either because it's a rainy day. So, I mean, we try to adapt, but we are very aware of the environment we are living in, and we try to balance all the decisions that we take.
셀러 투어를 마치고 점심 식사를 곁들이며 와인 테이스팅을 시작하였습니다. 식사는 델핀의 아버지께서 직접 준비해 주셨습니다. 아주 맛있게 잘 먹었습니다. 가장 먼저 테이스팅한 와인은 오브드라 꼬뜨바 밀레짐 2018 빈티지였습니다.
18 was a very special year for us, not in a good way, because we got a big storm of hail that destroyed all the harvests around the plot we went. Hopefully, we still have vines at 20 kilometers from here. And we used those vines to create the cuvée. And it's very strange because usually the grapes that comes from those vines at 20 kilometers, I sell the grapes. I don't make my own wine because I make my own wines with the plots that we sow. So when you look at the label, you have this half cycle, half moon, half cycle, something that was cut into because this is the season and something came and cut it into.
의역을 한다면 그러니까 저 동그라미가 한 해의 빈티지를 이야기하는데 잘 가고 있다가 How about this year?
24, you mean?
23.
We choose during spring in 23 to get rid of lots of buds, which means that we managed the yield pretty correctly. So we had a lower yield than the rest of Champagne, I think. We harvested 11,000 kilos per hectare. And the average in Champagne is close to 15,000 kilos. So 25% less. But because we choose the buds, we choose the grapes. And because we choose the grapes, it was very well balanced. And then we had a very nice harvest. Compared to many growers here, they lost a lot of harvest due to the mold.
Because of the mold attacked the grape.
Yeah.
The grape tastes like vinegar.
Yeah. So we didn't have that at Louise Brison because we took very harsh decision in spring. My goal is not the yield. I want grapes. But my main goal is not only to have a lot of grapes. That's the decision many growers take. They want as many grapes as possible because that they think that they are good growers when they have a lot of grapes. I think that we are good growers when we make good wine. And I don't know how to make good wine when we have mold everywhere.
2018 빈티지 이외에도 2016 및 2012 밀레짐을 테이스팅하였는데요. 너무나도 매력적인 산도와 함께 숙성된 캐릭터가 아주 인상적인 퍼포먼스를 보여주었습니다. 같이 식사를 하면서 많은 이야기를 나누었고 샴페인을 마시면서 공감을 이끌어내었는데요. 와이너리의 부흥을 이끌어낸 델핀의 열정을 다시 한번 느낄 수 있었고 앞으로 루이스 브리종이 어떻게 성장할지 기대가 되는 방문이었습니다.